Hey folks, so it's Tuesday, April 20th, and here's what we're doing today. So first you're going to watch this mini lecture on the difference between summary and analysis. Definitely check that out. It's like a little over 5 minutes. And then I want you to go back to the Writing Studio sample paper, okay? So I want you to go back to this, and what I want you to do is I want you to complete this exercise where you basically copy this Writing Studio sample. Particularly, I want you to copy the second draft. So I want you to go down to the revised draft. All right. I want you to go ahead and just highlight all of the stuff here that is in purple. Hit Command C to copy it and then paste it into another document, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to first identify the writer's thesis and highlight that in yellow. Then I want you to identify the paper's major claims. And remember that claims are going to be smaller statements that are still arguable, that need to be proven, that fit under that thesis, okay? I want you to highlight those in green, and then for each of those paper's claims, I want you to use the word processing tools to highlight any of the contextualized summary, plot summary that happens in blue. Highlight any examples from the film, whether those are illustrations or images in purple. So any specific examples, whether they could be something that happened in the film, they could be a particular moment that's being looked at, that kind of stuff in purple. I want you to underline those moments where the writer explains why these examples or plot points are important. And then I want you to also highlight any references to secondary, by which I mean academic sources, in pink. And then I want you to italicize moments where the writer helps connect the dots between the source material, the academic source material they're using, and how it applies to their argument, right? So it's going to take you a while to do this. It's going to take probably the majority of class time, but it's so important because what I'm trying to do is make visible the difference between summary and analysis and all the different parts of it. And so the idea is that in spending time doing this kind of work, you're going to be able to be like, I see now what the difference is here. And that's going to help you know how to kind of put together your own papers, okay? Then I want you to head over to, once you're done, and this is probably going to be like towards the really end of class, okay? I want you to just head over to Pop Writing Check-in 4, and then I just want you to post a sentence or 3 to 4 sentences that kind of reflect on how this exercise has helped you understand how an academic argument is organized, understanding the difference between summary and analysis, understanding the balance between the writer's own argument and how they're using academic sources to back that up, and then understanding also how the author must sort of constantly work to sort of connect the dots between, connect the dots between the examples in the film and the examples from the secondary source materials so that readers can follow their argument, right? So this should be a really helpful exercise. It's kind of like, sort of like making writing into, I don't know, a geometry equation or something, right? But it is going to be really helpful. So, and then once you've done that, just read and respond to your peers' posts, okay? So this is what we're doing in class. Now for homework, I want you to use the Writing Studio sample as a guide and then type out just an outline, a rough outline of your paper. And these bullet points will help you think about, again, what kind of major strokes need to happen in your paper. And then I want you to rewatch your film, and that's really important. If you're rewatching it, if you're looking at an excerpt from a shorter film, you might want to rewatch the whole film itself. If it's a short film, that's fine. I want to also recommend that when you're watching, that if you can, try to watch it on a computer, because one of the things that I want to recommend is that you pause the film at critical moments and take screenshots of what might be important scenes. So you might end up with something like, I don't know, 30 or more stills from the movie. I always think it's a good idea to leave the subtitles on so that you can also see the subtitles that are happening underneath of the image. And that becomes really, really important because then you can kind of go back to those. And if you need to pull some of those images into your own work, that becomes really important to do, right? Because part of what children's animated films do is they're not just telling the story through the plot and the dialogue, but also through the ways that they're illustrating it, right? And designing it in terms of sound and things like that, right? So just things to keep in mind. That's your homework.